Donald Trump's poll numbers are plummeting, and he just made a promise that signals desperation to win back the adoration that he requires. But the internet and the experts are saying, not so fast, Donald, O Commander-in-Chief of Distraction and Deception, and I have the full story and reactions coming up next. Let's begin this report with a story that perfectly illustrates the distraction and deception. This first clip explains how he turned some sketchy Walmart marketing into some sketchy White House propaganda. He begins by saying it's something that he discovered instead of the likely truth that someone on his staff saw it and twisted it for his benefit. Have a look and then I'll share the wild promise he made today, perhaps to calm a nervous MAGA nation.
He also said several times this week that Walmart's Thanksgiving meal will be cheaper than it was last year.
So Walmart, to me, that's AAA, came out that nobody going to influence them. I don't know them. But they just came out with a very powerful statement. They've done it for many years, that under the Biden administration, Thanksgiving meal, a Thanksgiving meal with all the trimmings, costs 25% more. In other words, our Thanksgiving this year coming up will cost 25% less than sleepy Joe Biden's. Now, to me, that's better than anything there is. I was angry last night with the Republicans. They say, you don't talk about this stuff. Nobody talks about it. I rely on a question from a reporter to get that out. We should be talking about it because they talk about affordability. They don't have affordability. What the Democrats do is they lie. We are the ones that have done great on affordability. They've done horribly on affordability.
Okay, maybe I'm an armchair psychologist, but the president didn't sound particularly happy there, sounding a little frustrated with things. And it's worth a quick fact check on that Walmart promotion. As ABC News points out, this year's bundle of Thanksgiving meal from Walmart has fewer items, 15 compared to 21, and a higher percentage of store brand items, which cost less. So, overall bundle costing less, but there's less in it too. On the topic of groceries, prices in September were about 2.7% higher than they were last year and about 1.4% higher than they were in January when Mr. Trump took office. John, it's so interesting to hear President Trump have to deal with exactly what Joe Biden had to deal with, trying to tell the American public that the economy is doing well when the American public is feeling that the economy is doing badly and that prices are high. I mean, it just sounds like exactly. Maybe he should give him a call and get some tips, because it sounds like the two men are having to deal with the same issue.
So what did one of those men post early this morning that the world is reacting to with great skepticism over his motives? Trump said, "People that are against tariffs are fools. We are now the richest, most respected country in the world, with almost no inflation and a record stock market price. 401ks are highest ever. We are taking in trillions of dollars and will soon begin paying down our enormous debt, $37 trillion. Record investment in the USA, plants and factories going up all over the place. A dividend of at least $2,000 a person, not including high-income people, will be paid to everyone." So my question for you is, how big of a manipulative, self-serving con artist do you need to be to promise every American $2,000 and be met with backlash and ridicule? Trump big. Have a look for yourself.
Journalist Kevin Manahan sarcastically posted, cash-strapped Americans should immediately charge an additional $2,000 worth of stuff for Christmas. Maybe book a vacation. Put $2,000 down on a new car or truck. Trump promised it, so the money is practically in the bank. And Adam Cochran, investigative journalist, is going viral on X with his analysis. The average American has paid more than that in tariffs, $3,000 to $5,000, and cost increases $2,000. This doesn't lower prices. It adds $400 billion to the national debt to rebate 2/3 of Americans $2,000 each. The Supreme Court is currently talking about striking down Trump's tariff and forcing them to refund Americans anyway. But Trump is trying to frame this as his idea for the people. Trump constantly makes people's lives worse, then cuts them a check with his name on it, because he thinks they are too stupid to realize that they've lost more than that check. And sadly for a lot of America, he's right. Trump will cost them $7,000 and give them a check for $2,000, and they'll eat it up. And the patriotic blonde exposed the art of this con. Only Trump could promise you $5,000, then only deliver on $2,000 after raising the cost of everything to give you that $2,000, tax you on 40% of that $2,000, and tell you that it's because he's making America great again.
With his poll numbers tanking, Trump is trying to buy affection the only way he knows how, by dangling currency in front of desperate Americans. That's because money is the love language of our deeply shallow leader. But his so-called $2,000 dividend is not a gift. It's gaslighting designed to make Americans forget he's the reason prices are higher, wages are stagnant, and concern is growing. The experts are not fooled. They're calling it for what it is, another Trump con. Create a crisis, repeat a narrative to the media, then claim to be the savior. But the act has gone stale. Even his supporters are starting to realize that the emperor has no clothes, and he is not a savior. And in 2 weeks, when they carve up the Thanksgiving life for themselves, the turkey that is Trump will be cooked.